how I actually manage my finances. Through many conversations I have with my clients or friends around me, I get this question a lot. How do you actually plan your finances? Is it the same as how you plan for me? And also when I go online to search it up, through YouTube, Google, I get a lot of people sharing how you should do it, this is what you should be doing, or the how you should be doing. But seldom I see people actually sharing how they themselves do it. So I thought to do this episode. Hopefully you guys can take away a thing or two, and maybe it might give you guys a bit of insights that may be helpful for you guys. Alright, so let's go straight to it. Point number 1 is having a realistic budget. I think it's really important to be realistic, because if the budget isn't realistic, it's really hard to keep up. If you're going to research on the many forms of upset, one of the key forms of upset is called misguided intention. Meaning, right, if today you have never actually saved up 2 grand before, you've always only saved $200, and suddenly you say, okay, I'm going to save 2 grand a month. It's a good intention, but it's misguided because you have actually not done it before. And of course, if you don't do it and you don't achieve it, you won't keep to it. And the word budget. So budget is actually telling you where your money should go instead of wondering where it went. I think this budget part is really tricky because I think a lot of people mistaken budget as a restriction of how you should spend. But in fact, I think budget is giving you permission to spend without guilt or regret because it's already allocated. The most common thing that I see in people, or at least myself, when I first adopted this practice, the budget becomes a diary. So I just key in there, oh, okay, but I did not really take any action. Knowing how a budget works is really important. And how I plan for myself, 2 ways. Number 1 way is the most detailed method. Like for myself, I have an Excel on food, transport, entertainment, investments, insurance, and whatnot. I go like food cannot go past $1,000, transport cannot go past X amount of money. When you are this kind of person like myself, very detailed, this Excel sheet will work for you because you limit by category. Well, of course, it's really tedious. So there's another set of people who do it in a lump sum manner. For example, if your take-home pay is really 5 grand a month, and you tell yourself, okay, after I collect all my expenses, I save 3K. Then 3K, you'll set aside for savings. The 2K, how it's gonna be spent, how it went, where did it go, it doesn't matter. As long as you spend 2K, done. And that's another way you can do it also. Right? So for myself, I do the detailed method. Point number 2 is I invest 20% of my income. I didn't start 20% straight up the front. I built with 10% first, and then I gradually build up as I manage my finances better. Why 20%? Because it's the go-to number. If you can see the 50-30-20 rule, or even you see Warren Buffett also advocate 20% investment so that you can reach your financial freedom or whatnot. I think that's a goal that we all can work towards too. That's a good habit to have. Number 3 is I save 10% of my income. I'm not one person that likes to have a lot of cash. I like to put it in assets, but still having a good cash for good opportunities. Maybe the stock market like COVID, I can deploy more funds. And also with the perks of flexibility, like I want to go traveling, I need to repair my television, I need to repair my air conditioner, I need to buy a new laptop, I need to support a certain emergency in the family. So emergency fund and flexibility, ultimately it's also a form of security. But of course, for those out there, if your big ticket is coming soon, like you're getting married, your house is coming, definitely got to allocate more beyond 10%. And yes, you should do that. But of course, for myself, when I'm going through that phase of life, I save more than 10%, but I didn't discount on my investments. That means I still invest. In fact, I actually cut down my expenses instead. Number 4 is a bit controversial, is by leveraging on debt. I know a lot of people have been sharing, clear your debt fast, debt is bad, maybe debt free, but I came across a few causes and I'll bring through this question. Today, if you look at the richest people on Forbes 500, do you think they have debt? I'm pretty sure they have debt. But what's the difference? Their debt is able to generate more income. There are more pros than cons in their debt compared to our usual debt where it's draining us, it's bad for us. If you can make your debt generate more income and more pros than cons for yourself, it's actually a really amazing thing. Let's say take a personal loan and it's maybe 1%, and you actually invested that amount in the stock market. Maybe you get 9 to 10% on average per annum. That 1% becomes really minimal, and your net gain as a portfolio is around a good 7 to 8%. So that's just an example of leveraging on debt. But of course, I say it's a bit controversial and don't think it's recommended for beginners. Only if you know how to use that debt and you are well versed in this area, then sure. Number 5 is for myself, I have a fixed day every single month to clear all my expenses and my bills and whatsoever. On the first of the month, I'll pay my bills, I'll transfer money that need to be transferred out. But I think most importantly what I do, right, is actually pay myself first. A question I always ask my clients and my friends is, if upon receiving your paycheck, your salary, what's the first thing you do? And the most common answer is, I pay my debt off, I pay bills off. Which, don't get me wrong, is important, is needed. However, my question in my head is always, shouldn't we pay ourselves first so that we can get ourselves in check and be sustainable to do all the other things for a longer run? So with that mindset, I shifted and I applied it to myself too. I pay myself first. But of course, this comes with, again, your point number one, right? The budget got to be done right so that you know the exact number that you're spending, exact number that you save. So that number, then you know what to do. So I did it for myself. I pay myself first. Then the rest, I clear my debt or my expenses and bills. Point number 6 is I plan my savings annually instead of monthly. I get it. The go-to answer is consistency. We're only humans. I'm also human, right? So it's really hard to be consistent and be really rigid. Like, well, let's say I'm going to save 100k a year. It could be 10k. It's a good ideal goal to work towards, but after or not, life catches up and it's not easy. So I did monthly, right? I think it caused a lot of financial stress. So I plan on an annual basis, so it gives myself a bit of leeway. Take note, it's a leeway, it's not a golden passage to, just don't save. Then of course we do that, the goal doesn't work. I keep my goal, I change the strategy. For example, if I save 10k on January, maybe February become 5, March I got to buff up 15, and so on and so forth. So I'll make up for my lost months, and months that I underspent, then maybe I can spend a bit more the next time. So it gives me a lot of free play, but I still achieve my goal, and it's much more realistic. Point number 7, I reduce and also leverage on tax. It's tax season, guys, so if you guys are filing tax, this might be helpful for you. I'm not going to cover a full area of tax. A lot of YouTubers and TikTokers covers this. I'm just sharing some of the things that I use. Number 1 is, I think, most direct SRS donations, right? If you contribute SRS, you can actually relieve $15,300 off. And that's the maximum of contribution you can contribute to SRS, by the way. Number 2 is donations. So I do a lot of charity work, and the donations also help me to relieve my tax. So I think it's a win-win. Point number 3, I think this doesn't apply to employees. They apply to self-employed, which is under business expenses. This can also help you to reduce tax. Point number 4, parent CPF contribution relief, where you can contribute money to your own CPF and also your parents' one. They can relieve tax. In the past, I think it's 7,000, but now it's 8,000 each for your individual CPF and your parents' one. Total is 16k. Yeah, that also helps. Next one is NS Men. Fun fact, side note, I have no regular NS activities because of my past status. So I qualify for only 1.5k relief. But if you regularly go for reservice and all that, then you can qualify for up to 3.5k. One more thing, if you go for courses and upgrade yourself in your relevant trade or profession, you can actually relieve up to 5.5k. Yeah, that's an additional good thing to upgrade yourself. It's a win-win too. And last but not least is your life insurance. Yes, life insurance can help relieve tax, but of course, it's not your critical illness, your disability, your health, your investment savings, no, not all that, just your death portion. You can qualify for this if your total CPF contribution is less than 5,000. How much? You can tax relief up to 5,000. So these are the key tax areas that I leverage on. And I think it's recent news on the newest budget. In the year of assessment 2024, which this year, you will get 50% of your total tax payable. Of course, the maximum cap is $200. So yeah, these are the 7 ways, in summary: having a realistic budget, investing 20% of my income, saving 10% of my income, leveraging on debt, having a fixed day per month to clear my expenses, and of course, bracket, pay yourself first. I plan my savings annually instead of monthly. And last but not least, I leverage and reduce my taxes. Right, so this is how I plan for myself. Hopefully this gives you guys a bit of insights and maybe some new ideas you can adopt. Please take note that those that I've shared above is actually only the surface of what is to be done. But actually there's a lot of in-depth steps to go through to actually get it to work. And to only do 1 out of the 7, it won't also be a big change in planning your finances. So put in the time and effort to really deep dive in the categories should you want to adopt them. And if you need help, speak to a professional that can actually guide you through with all these steps as well. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And if you guys have different way and great ideas to share, please let me know also, so maybe I can learn it too. And I'll see you guys next time.